training, which talks about why we do what we do at the parties. So real quick, Betsy, showed you, she shared the screen a minute ago of Glam Central and where you can find the training videos. And so first off, that is a really great resource that I really recommend all of you take advantage of. They've got the party presentation videos that you can watch over and over and over, and they're really short. Like, I don't think any of the videos is longer than 5 minutes, and there's 5 of them. So you can watch, one while your kids are in the bathtub real quick, and then you can watch another one later. You don't have to carve out a lot of time to watch them all at once. And you also have the chance to print out party cards from Glam Central. If you're new, some should have come in your consultant starter kit. But if you are not new, you have the chance to print these out off Glam Central. And you can also look in the files section of the Star Throwers page, and a couple of us have uploaded our full party scripts there. So that gives you everything you need to know about what to do and what to say at the parties. And that is not at all what my training is on tonight. My training is all about why we do what we do at parties. So I have a fantastic script that I'm going to be working from, and I am not ashamed, because one of the great things about being a leader with Touchstone Crystal is when we do trainings and things for you guys, so often the material is provided for us. And so it makes it really easy. So when all of you guys get to a group leader and you start helping lead these team trainings, it's going to be pretty easy for you because you're going to have a script that you can work from as well. So, okay. There are 5 basic components to every party that we do. We have the setup and time with our hostess before guests arrive. We have greeting the guests and getting to know them. We have the actual party presentation, which in itself is 5 parts. We have the checkout, and then we have the pack up whenever you're putting all your jewelry away, and more time with your hostess. So I'm going to go through each one of those and kind of talk about how you can be making the most of that time, because you always want to be working smarter, not harder. Okay, so the average party lasts about 2 hours. And with some planning, we can get everything set up in just 30 minutes. I like to arrive between 40 and 45 minutes before the party starts. It only takes me 30 minutes to set up, but I don't want to be finishing like right as guests are walking the door. I want to have a few more minutes with the hostess to see if there's anything that I can help her with. So, arrive 30 to 40 minutes beforehand. And the key is to have a great time while strategically using every minute. So the setup time with the hostess, first off, you want to talk to her about how you can set up someplace where there is the best light, or you can even bring your own lights. Dining room tables, kitchen tables, high countertops, those are all fantastic locations for you to set up your jewelry. And those are also great because they tend to be near the food. People like to gather near the food and drinks, and that's where they linger. So if you can be near-ish to the food, that is usually really beneficial. Coffee tables are not that great because the lighting tends to be poor, and then people have to get down on the ground and bend over to see the jewelry. I have done a few parties using the coffee table, so it's not, if that's your only choice, don't, scrap the whole party. It can be done, it's just not ideal. We want, everything we do, we want to be duplicatable. So when people are watching us throughout the party, they can picture themselves doing what we're doing. So we want to, and that includes our hostess. So when we bring everything in to set up for the party, you really just want to make one trip. I was told when I first got started with Touchstone Crystal, if you can't bring everything in one trip, then you're doing it wrong. This is just jewelry. We don't have, big bulky products. I've got my giant jewelry bag, another bag full of catalogs, and another bag full of all my other, my tickets, my name tags, party prizes, all that stuff in the third bag, and I lug it all in one trip. We also want to set up as quickly as possible. So if you haven't figured out the best way to store your jewelry and set it up to where it's very time efficient, go ahead. You can search for posts like that on the Star Throwers page, or you can ask somebody to share some pictures. There's some really quick and easy ways that you can do it. You don't want to take all your jewelry and put it back in the boxes every time and then take it all out of the boxes to display at your parties. That's not a good use of your time. And remember that our hostess is always our best sponsoring lady because she's somebody who's already very interested in the jewelry. And so we definitely want to make sure that we are planting sponsoring seeds with her. At a minimum, we can say something like, I don't know if this is something you've ever thought about doing, but you might want to watch what I do tonight and see if it's something that piques your interest. Maybe you can make a little extra money. And it's good to talk to your hostess about the flow of the evening, kind of give her a heads up of how things are going to go. So that way she's on the same page as you all night long. You can, let her know, oh, I'm going to give all of your friends tickets for trying on jewelry before the party starts to get them all involved in it. And then I'm going to do a quick demo of the jewelry and then people can flip through catalogs and place orders. Can you help me round everybody up about 30 minutes into the party so I can do my quick presentation? And then let her know, I should be packed up and out your door by usually 30 minutes after the end time of the party. Once you get all your jewelry, your display set up and you're ready to go, you're prepared, ask her if there's anything else that you can do to help her. Sometimes hostesses are super prepared and they have everything ready before you even get there. But more often than not, they're still scrambling to get the food and the drinks ready and, get the dog locked up. And, oh my gosh, I forgot to clean the toilet at the very last minute. So anything you can do to help her, she's really going to appreciate that. Okay, so part 2 of all of our party strategies is greeting the guests. It is great to help the hostess by answering the door. I like to introduce myself right away. Oh, hi, I'm Chasity. I'm the jewelry lady. It's so nice to meet you. And then I go ahead and I get them set up with a name tag. I always ask them how to spell their name, even if their name is Ashley or Nicole. I have gotten very interesting spellings of both of those names. So I never assume, I always ask. And then I think that also helps me to remember it a little bit better as well. And then, bring the guest in, show her where the jewelry is and the food and the drinks. Have her roll the dice if you're going to do, some kind of booking offer that involves dice and write her number on her name tag. And then let her know there's tickets for trying on jewelry and encourage her to have fun. Start asking her a couple questions, how she knows the hostess, if she had to drive far, that kind of stuff. Start building relationships with the guests before your party presentation. You want them to feel like you're a friend. You can also give her, the guest, a wish list or just a copy. Go ahead and give her an order form and let her know, oh, we have a wish list right here on the side. As you're trying things on, if you're discovering what your favorite pieces are, you can go ahead and put them down on your wish list. I also pass out little sticky tabs with my catalogs, so that way people can tab all of the pages that have pieces they like on there. So that way they're not circling in my catalog or folding the pages down, because I want all my catalogs back. The only people who keep catalogs from me are people who book parties or who join my team. Occasionally, if somebody asks if they can keep a catalog, I'll let them. But more often than not, I get my catalogs back because people can go on. I want them to place an order that night, and they can go online and see the whole catalog online. And I want to save my money. Okay, so the first 30 minutes of the actual party is, that's not when you're going to do your presentation. You're not going to do your presentation, right at 7 o'clock if the party's scheduled to start at 7 o'clock. People are going to be rolling in late. They want to, grab a glass of wine, catch up with the hostess or whatever other friends they have there. You want to give a little bit of time for mingling and allowing for people to get there. So about 30 minutes in is when you and the hostess can, start to wrangle people up. And while people are trying on jewelry, if they start asking you questions and it's something that you're going to answer later on in your presentation, go ahead and spill the beans. Answer their question. Don't just say, you'll hear later, because that's really awkward. It's okay if they find out twice. If, you tell them and say, oh, you're going to hear me say this again later in my party presentation, but blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that leads us to part 3, which is the official party presentation. We have a wonderful 5-part party presentation that Touchstone Crystal has kind of sculpted for us. It is not a requirement to use this 5-part party presentation. This is just something that Touchstone Crystal put together after years of staying in close contact with the top leaders in Touchstone Crystal and finding out what is and isn't working for them. They created this 5-part party presentation based on what is bringing people success. So I highly recommend that your party presentation follows the 5-part party presentation. That's what we call it. Because that's what's going to help you achieve your goals. It's like a recipe. Your food isn't going to turn out as good if you leave out an integral piece of the recipe. And so you don't want to do that with the party presentation either. So the introduction of the party, that sets the stage for our connection to Swarovski, but it also sets up Touchstone Crystal as its own brand within Swarovski. It's where we thank our hostess for giving us the night off, which in itself is a good booking seed, because people are like, oh yeah, it is really nice that I'm not putting the kids to bed right now. Maybe I could do this again. I'd like to do this again next month. And then the introduction is also where we get to explain our high quality and our price point as well. The second part of the party presentation is the dress the guest, and that allows us to show off some of our best pieces using 3 fun fashion concepts: layer, stack, and mix. And these are timeless concepts, and they can be used in a lot of ways to feature our collection. The number one goal is to create desire for our beautiful jewelry, and to do so in a way that they can see the versatility and the value in it. We also want to creatively show what roughly $600 in jewelry looks like, because that is what the average hostess with Touchstone Crystal gets in free and discounted jewelry. So it's up to you how you want to do this. You may want to, set aside a tray or a box filled with pieces that is everything that you're going to use for your dress the guest portion. I have a few necklaces and a few bracelets and a ring and a pair of earrings that I do set aside in a little box. And so nobody tries on those pieces at the beginning of the party. That's what I use to dress my guest. When I was just getting started and I had less jewelry to work with, that was not the case. I just went over during dress the guest and grabbed the pieces I wanted from my display, because I felt more comfortable having all my pieces out for people to play with. So totally up to you how you want to do it, but you do want to try and dress your guest in about $600 worth of jewelry. The third part of the official party presentation is your booking offer. It could be a booking game or something involving a special price for the host reward that we offer each month. It's up to you what you want to do. I encourage you to talk to your sponsor. You can even post on the team page and find out what other people are doing and kind of decide what you're most comfortable with, what you want to do. We always want to highlight the fact that our current hostess is going to get something special for any of the parties booked. That's our BFF program, which stands for Bling for a Friend. Every party booked that night, tonight's hostess will get a 70% off piece when she comes to all of her friends' parties, and there's no limit to that. So people get really excited when their friend is benefiting from them booking their own party. The fourth part of the party presentation is quickly sharing our why story. This is really brief, like 1 to 3 minutes. 2 is, I think, really, really good. But it's short, but it's so, so important. Telling people why you got started in the business and how it's impacted you so far is a great way to get the wheels spinning so they can think about it for themselves. Write it out, practice it in the mirror, practice it, on the phone with your best friend, with your dog, your cat, your husband. Just practice, practice, practice so you feel comfortable and it sounds natural. And then at the end of I like to say, I do, after my why story is when I do my Q&A. I let people ask me about the business. This is very important, and honestly, I think the most fun part of the party, because by this point, people have started to open up and loosen up. Nobody's feeling shy anymore. And this is where their personalities start to shine through. So I give everybody who asks me a question about the business a ticket, and then there's a drawing for a cheesy little prize at the end. And it's up to you if you want to keep it quick or, let it take its time. I usually let it go on for 5 to 10 minutes. And I say, okay, now I'm going to let you guys picture yourselves in my shoes for a minute. You can ask me anything you want about my job. You can ask me how much it costs to get started, how much training there is, what kind of incentives there are besides money and free jewelry. I just throw out a few starter questions and say, okay, who wants to get started and ask me a question? Remember, every question is going to get you a ticket for tonight's prize. And then people start asking questions. And try and make a mental note of who is asking you questions, because the people who are asking the questions and are curious about the business, you definitely want to follow up with them later on and find out more about why they were curious. And so at the end of the Q&A, that's when I do a group offer and I say something like, okay, you guys asked some really great questions. I'm not going to pretend to know what needs you have at the moment, whether it's a credit card bill that keeps creeping up on you, or retirement you haven't been saving for, or like me, you just want to stay home with your kids and you need that extra income, or maybe you just have a shoe habit that you want to pay for without feeling guilty. I don't know what it is, but I do know that Touchstone Crystal could be the Band-Aid for the problem you have right now. And the beauty of this is there's no risk, there's no commitment. You can give it a try, and if you don't like it, you can stop. Anybody can do this, and you don't know if it's going to be a good fit unless you give it a try. So we call that the group offer. It's literally offering it to the group, telling them, this could be good for you, and you don't know until you try. So that part is really important, because sometimes people, even though they're asking questions, they still think, oh, I couldn't do this. But sometimes just hearing them say, you could do this, or you could try it. And then if you don't like it, it's fine. You can walk away. Sometimes hearing that, they're like, okay, all right, why not? Let me try it. So definitely want to do the group offer. Okay, so that is the 5 parts of the party presentation. And the whole thing should take, 15 to 20 minutes. It really kind of depends on how rowdy your crowd is, how many questions they ask, and how many times they interrupt you. But it shouldn't be any longer than about 20 minutes. That's really people didn't come to just sit still and be quiet all night long. They came to socialize and be a part of the party. So, okay, so the next part of your party is the checkout process. And when we were, Dexter, stop. I'm sorry, I'm sure you guys can't hear him, but my dog is just sitting next to my desk whining like crazy, and it's driving me nuts. So the checkout process, some of the leaders with Touchstone Crystal have renamed it to the check-in process, because during checkout, you're not simply taking people's orders, taking their money, and telling them goodbye. That is literally checking them out. You really want to be checking in with each guest, because that is going to give you the best chances of booking parties and sponsoring people. So in parts 1, 2, and 3, we've been planting seeds, and the checkout is where we reap the harvest. You want to ask questions. She walks up and she's got her order form and she hands it to you. She's filled out everything. There's really nothing for you to do except the math. Always do the math, by the way, on the order form. Don't let your guests do the math. Tell them that. Oh, you don't have to worry about doing the math. I'll do that. I'm at work. You're not. So drink another glass of wine and I'll pull out my calculator later. Once she hands you her order form, say, oh, hi. So tell me, did you have fun tonight? What was your favorite part of the party? Let me see your wish list. Were you able to get everything you want tonight? Ooh, you marked a lot of pages. Okay, so what are you going to get tonight, and what are you going to save for your party? You can go ahead and say that, even if she hasn't told you she wants to book a party. What are you going to get tonight, or what are you going to save and get with your host rewards from your party? The goal here is to see what it is that she really wants, because a lot of times people just don't come right out and tell you. So if you think she wants to have a party, you can say, okay, were you interested in, getting your ladies together for a fun night like this? And then you can get, any $100 piece for the price of the dice you rolled, which I see is a 6. What do you think? And if she says, oh, I don't know, maybe, you could say, okay, well, if you were to have a party, what typically would be better for you? Would you want a weekend or a weeknight? Oh, probably a weeknight. Oh, okay. Is there any particular day that's usually best for you? Probably Tuesdays. Oh, okay. Well, I have these 3 Tuesdays available. Does one of those work for you? And then it kind of helped you to narrow the window for her. You weren't saying, when do you want to have a party, and leaving it very open. People sometimes have a hard time with that. So helping her to make it simple and narrow it down is a great way to solidify and get a date. If somebody tells you that they're interested in having a party and you leave without a date for their party, then you did not actually get a party booked from that party. You got a party lead, but you didn't get a booking. Unless you leave with a date on the calendar and a time set and you've given her a hostess packet, then it's not actually a booking. So our goal is to leave every party with 2 more bookings. So that way it's inevitable that some parties are going to end up postponing and some are going to cancel. So if we leave every party with 2 bookings, then we already have a nice cushion for those postponements and cancellations, and we're still going to have a really solid party calendar ahead of us. So another way to get a date set with somebody is you can come with a printed out list that says my party dates at the top, and it just has like your next 6 open party dates and then a line so they can write their name or an email address. You can say, oh, okay, great, you want to have a party? Well, here are the dates that I have coming up. Which one works for you? And you don't say, let me know if which one works for you. You just say which one works for you. And this is also a really good sponsoring seed because it lets people know that you're in control of your business and you're in control of your calendar. So if they were to do this, they could be in control of when they have parties too. It's not just open-ended. They don't have to have a wide open calendar and potentially have parties anytime. If you're only available on Tuesdays and Thursdays to have parties, that is okay. Only book parties on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Come with that sheet of paper with all your Tuesdays and Thursdays written out and say, these are my open party dates. Which one works for you? And if they really want a party, they'll find a Tuesday or a Thursday that works for them. Okay. Okay, make sure that when she books a party, you want to give her a hostess packet that has 1 to 2 catalogs, a few order forms, a host brochure, and then I always include a sparkle brochure and a copy of the glam plan as well, because a lot of my sponsors were originally hostesses. And I don't know about you guys, but when I host a party for another direct sales company, whatever hostess packet the consultant gives me, I read every piece of paper in there. I always read about other companies' compensation plans because I'm curious. I believe that Touchstone Crystal is the best one out there, but I don't know that for sure unless I'm reading all the other compensation plans. And I have had people join my team from other companies because they wanted more income or they wanted something different and better than what they currently had. So I always include a sparkle brochure and a glam plan in my hostess packets. Let her know. Let her know how much she could get in free and discounted jewelry when she hosts a party. So just show her a little copy of the host rewards chart in the back of the catalog. And let her know that for every party that her friends book, she's going to get a 70% off piece, because sometimes hostesses, they get really excited about that and they start talking to their friends before they even have their party about them having their own parties. So that's really good. If you feel like she would be a good candidate for being a consultant, or if she asked a lot of really great questions during the question and answer game, or at checkout, she was like, I'm just going to get this one pair of earrings because money's really tight for us right now. I want like 75 things, but I just can't afford it. Those are all indicators that the business might be good for her. Tell her, hey, have you ever thought about doing something like this? It's totally fun and easy. You earn tons of free jewelry and you make money. So you don't have to spend your money on the jewelry. You'll make extra money, but you won't have to spend that money on jewelry because you'll be earning free jewelry. So it's like a total win-win. And then honestly, my sponsoring packets are the same as my hostess packets because I want them all to have all the same information. So I give all my sponsoring leads and my booked parties the same packet. Okay. And when you're talking to the hostess at the end of the night, you know, you can ask her the same thing. If she just did a really outstanding job, if her friends were super involved and, you know, she had 6 people want to book parties, you can say to her, you know, hey, have you ever thought about doing something like this? I know you love the jewelry and your friends really loved it. You know, you've got 6 people interested in booking parties. These could all be your first parties if this is something you want to do. Okay, and the last thing to remember, your sweet and friendly smile and our jewelry are a winning combination. You want to have fun, make new friends, and share Touchstone Crystal. Everything new has a learning curve, so if you are just now getting started with this, there's a chance you're not going to be very good at your first couple parties, and that's okay, and it's totally normal. So I think Betsy said in her, I'm not a pro, don't listen to Betsy. Every expert was once a beginner. I will tell you that the parties get so much easier and so much more fun the more you do them. Even now, I've been with Touchstone Crystal coming up on 2.5 years. And if I go a long time between parties for whatever reason, cancellations, crazy things in life, you know, just if there's 3 to 4 weeks for some nutso reason between parties, my next one, I'm rusty. I feel a little bit awkward. I'm just kind of off my game. But when I do 1 to 2 parties a week, then it feels like second nature. It's so much more fun. I know what I'm doing. I'm confident. I'm comfortable. I remember everything. And it's really enjoyable. So that's just another little, I don't know, nugget, incentive, encouragement for you to have a strong party calendar because it makes it a lot more fun. So, okay. Does anybody have any questions about anything else, about the official party presentation, about why we do what we do at parties? It's totally fine if you don't have questions, but I'm here and Betsy's still here. Hey, Emily.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Gretchen Morgan.
Okay.
I'm brand new and my launch party is tomorrow. Do
Okay.
you have any advice on where to start? Because there's so much and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. So do you have any advice on where to start as far as hostess packets and, you know, sponsor packets and things like that? There just feels like a lot going on.
My recommendation is to log into Glam Central and go to resources and training and watch those party presentation videos.
Okay.
Because if you want to feel comfortable when you're there. You want to feel
Right.
comfortable in the party presentation. So if you watch these videos and you see what they do and, you know, take some notes, use those party cards that came in your kit during your party presentation. Do that for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's going to make you feel more comfortable. You're less likely to forget something. When you get nervous, you've got the cards to look at. And number 2, that makes you look duplicatable. So if anybody is watching you thinking, maybe this is something I could do, I don't know. Oh, wait, I saw Gretchen. She used her note cards. If I can use note cards during my party presentation, I can do this too. So totally allowed, definitely encouraged. So I would make that your first focus. And then making sure you identify what dates you are available to book parties. So party presentation, calendar, and then like I said, for hostess packets, it doesn't have to be a packet, or you can, you know, just go and get a little folder that you stick things in and stick at the very least 1 catalog, a host brochure, and a sparkle brochure, and a copy of the Glam plan if you can. But the host brochures and the sparkle brochures all came in your kit. The catalog. So just 1 of each of those. They can go online. All of their friends can go online to place orders if they need to. Make sure you put your name and website on the back of everything you ever give to people. I went to any office supply store, and you can get the like Avery address labels, like for envelopes. I print
Yes.
my name, phone number, email address, and a website, and I use those stickers. I put them on everything. So that way, if anybody ends up with my catalog, they know how to get a hold of me.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, Emily, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. So the bling for a friend, because I'm going to be hosting my first party, does that mean that whoever then next has a party, I would have the 70% off, or would you not mention it? I mean, that's a bit.
You're talking about for your launch party?
Yeah, my very first party. Yeah.
That's up to you and how well you know all of the people at your launch party. I mean, it's definitely true. All of your friends who book parties from your launch party, you are going to get a 70% off piece from each of their parties.
Right.
You can say that. You can say, you know, all of you who book parties today, you know, you're definitely helping me get my new business going. One thing that's really cool is we have a program called Bling for a Friend, BFF. And so when you guys all book parties, I'm going to get the chance to get a 70% off piece at each of your parties. And then when you have your party and your friends book parties, you're going to get that same Bling for a Friend deal. So when you have a party, if 5 of your friends book parties, in addition to your host rewards, you're going to get 5 more pieces for 70% off. So that's a really cool thing that Touchstone Crystal offers. So you can mention it and let them know that you'll get it, but then kind of make the emphasis that you'll get that too when they host a party.
Right.
So they'll want to host.
Okay. The other thing is I've got one of those, is it a square thing for reading the credit cards? Do I need to use that at the party, or can you just put it straight into the website? Or
when I do parties, I give everybody a paper order form, and I have them fill that out, and I have them put their credit card information on there. Or they can do cash or check. If somebody pays you with cash or check, then you keep the cash, you deposit the check into your account, and then you pay with your credit card for the order. I don't use a Square reader. I don't use my laptop at the parties unless somebody wants to sign up and become a consultant at the party. I bring my laptop with me every time because I have had that happen before, but I just use the paper order forms, and I give them a copy, and then when I go home, I put it all in.
Okay. The other thing, because I'm going to have it at a restaurant, so should I just like order some wine and some nibbles and stuff so that there's
I tell anytime somebody wants to have a party at a restaurant, I say whatever you might have spent on food and drinks at your house, you know, at the grocery store,
right,
the equivalent at the restaurant. You know, maybe if you could just do appetizers and tell people, you know, I'm going to have a few appetizers we can all share. If you want a drink, you're welcome to buy one yourself, or if you want, start with a bottle of wine for everyone to share, and then anything after that is on them.
Right. Cool. Okay, thank you. That's really helpful.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, I hope that you guys found that to be helpful. And as always, if you guys ever have questions about anything, you know, reach out to your sponsor, whoever brought you into this business, and of course, post on the team page. We're all very helpful and knowledgeable, and sometimes it's just really nice to get, you know, 4 or 5 or 10 different people giving you their opinions, and so you can pick and choose which answers you like best and what you want to go with, unless it's hard fact.